I have prepared a speech about the three bases for a pagan traditional ethic in the present world. I'll try to cut it up to stay in 5 minutes and when all text is available, simply ask. Since the theme of this congress is traditional ethics, the Federazione Pagana thought not to present one specific ethics because we gather people from different traditions. So I propose in this meeting three of what we consider cardinal points and three bases for pagan traditional ethics in the present world. The first is the consideration of what we call tradition. We usually mean something that comes to us from the past, that has been handed down to us. And sometimes this is also considered unchangeable in some way. But we should ask ourselves, what do we take from the past? We must be aware that there has been a gap between Europe's pagan past and our present days. This gap is due obviously to the arrival of monotheism and can be wider or narrower according to what country or what culture we are considering. But we must be aware of this. We also must be aware that many of tales about Celtic and German gods and goddesses, for example, but also some descriptions of ancient gods come to us from Christian writers. So they have a very different view, and we risk to assume some monotheistic features if we don't pay attention. So first of all, we must study our ancient religions and traditions. But since we aren't making simply historical reconstruction, and since we are here because we are religious people, we have to apply a concept so well expressed by Cicero, the Roman orator, while explaining the meaning of the word religio. Religio is the Latin word from which the word religion comes. And Cicero insisted on the opposition between religio, the committed practice of religious acts, and superstitio, the superstition, the mere repetition of the act without paying attention to it. And this means that we have to put ourselves inside our religious practices. Our religio is the attention we put in our practices toward the gods and the world. So the first basis is a personal commitment in the relation with the traditional past and religion itself. It means that values must be felt and not coming from above us. And why should we pay so much attention to the world? Just because as pagans, when we say the goddess of the earth, whatever her name is, we don't mean that there is a goddess somewhere in the sky with powers of the earth. We mean the earth herself, like we say the city of Bononia. We are meaning Bononia, the city itself, not something else that rules over Bononia. And when we are aware of that, we understand that we must be respectful toward the world, human beings included. And this respect was called by the Roman pietas. This respect has more to do with harmony with the surrounding world than with awe with the Lord, because it's due to the acknowledgement of the God's presence inside the world. Since the gods are inside the world, we can't be outside it, and this is why we pay religious attention toward the world, and must respect it and be in harmony with it. So the second basis for a pagan ethic is respect and harmony with the world, since in the world we experience the presence of the gods, and toward the world we exert our ethics and so our pietas, our respect. And this is the third point. Starting from the world, our traditional ethics starts from the present, not only from the past, as we said before. But the word tradition has another important aspect, another important meaning. It comes from the Latin word traditio, that in turn comes from the verb tradere, that is to deliver. So tradition is not only what is delivered to us, but also what we are going to pass on, to hand down to future generations. The tradition we get is certainly worth of honor and respect, but even more important is what we choose to pass on. Even towards the future generation, we have to apply the respect, the pietas, with the due personal commitment, the religion. So this third basis that prevents us to To stop paganism in the present generation is to think of tradition, and therefore to traditional ethics, as to something to pass on, more than something we receive, so that we can assume an active role towards the past. As I said before, if you want the complete text of the speech that I cut here and there, you must ask, it's available. Thank you.